Jake Miller woke up slowly, his mind still foggy from sleep. Something felt wrong. There was weight on his chest and legs. He tried to move but couldn't. His eyes opened to see purple skin and 4 arms pressing down on him. Zara was sitting on top of him. Her large black eyes stared down at his face with what looked like fear. Her purple skin showed strange dark patterns that Jake had never seen before. Her 4 arms held him firmly against the bed. "Zara," Jake said quietly. "What are you doing?" Zara was his housekeeper. She belonged to a race called Catherians. They looked like tall, purple cats that walked on 2 legs and had 4 arms instead of 2. 2 years ago, they came to Earth asking for help. They said their world was dying and they needed a new home. The government made a deal with them. Catherians would work as housekeepers and cleaners. In return, humans would give them places to live and help them become citizens. Jake got Zara 6 months ago. She was quiet and did good work. She cleaned his apartment, cooked his food, and never caused problems. She spoke broken English, but they managed to talk to each other just fine. Jake was a former soldier who now worked as an engineer for a construction company. His apartment was small but comfortable. Now Zara was on top of him and she looked scared. Her skin kept changing colors in waves of dark and light purple. She made clicking sounds with her mouth, which Jake knew meant she was upset. "Zara, get off me," Jake said more firmly. "What's wrong?" Zara started talking fast in her native language. Clicks and whistles mixed with broken English words. Jake caught some words he understood. "Danger," she said. "Jake, danger. They lied. Humans, danger." "Who lied?" Jake asked. He tried to sit up, but Zara's grip was strong, much stronger than he expected. "My people lied," Zara said. Her voice shook. "We lied. All of us lied." Jake felt his heart start beating faster. "What do you mean?" Zara made more clicking sounds. Then she said something that made Jake's blood turn cold. "Harvest starts soon. 3 days, harvest all humans." "Harvest?" Jake asked. "What harvest?" But Zara suddenly jumped off him and ran out of the bedroom. Jake heard her moving around in the kitchen very fast. He got up and followed her. Zara was packing food and supplies with incredible speed. Her 4 arms moved like a machine, grabbing things from cabinets and drawers. She moved faster than any human could move. Jake had never seen her move this fast before. "Zara, stop," Jake said. "Tell me what's happening." She turned to look at him. Her eyes were wide with fear. "Jake, my people are not refugees," she said, slowly. "We did not come here because our world was dying. We came here to study humans before the big ships arrive." Jake felt like someone had hit him in the stomach. "What big ships?" "Invasion ships. Harvest ships. They come in 3 days to take everything from Earth, take all the resources, take all the humans." Jake sat down hard in a kitchen chair. "That's impossible. Your people asked for help. The government made agreements with you." "Yes," Zara said, "that was the plan. Come here looking weak and helpless. Live with humans, study humans, learn about human weapons and military. Find out how to defeat humans quickly." She continued packing while she talked. Her movements were jerky and nervous. "Every Catherian housekeeper is a spy," she said. "We watch, we learn, we send information back to the fleet. Information about human homes, human habits, human defenses." Jake stood up. "You've been spying on me?" Zara stopped moving. She reached into her cleaning supplies and pulled out a small device. It looked like a metal disc with blinking lights. "This device records everything," she said. "Your voice, your habits, your work, your military background. Everything goes to the fleet." Jake had been a soldier for 8 years before he became an engineer. He still had contacts in the military. He still knew about weapons and tactics. The device had been recording all of that. "How many ships are coming?" Jake asked. 12 big ships. Each one can destroy a continent. We have done this to 17 worlds before Earth." Jake felt sick. 17 worlds? Yes. Same plan every time. Send housekeepers first. Study the people, then harvest everything. The other worlds could not fight back. They were too primitive or too peaceful. "But something went wrong this time," Jake said. "Or you wouldn't be telling me this." Zara nodded. Her skin pattern shifted again. I was supposed to put poison in your food last night, she said quietly. Special poison that makes humans sleep forever. Then I was supposed to signal the fleet about your location. They want to capture humans with military knowledge first. But you didn't do it. No, I could not do it. Zara looked at her hands. Something is wrong with me. I have pack bonding syndrome. What's that? Catherians used to live in family groups long ago, before we became predators. Some Catherians still have the old genes. Sometimes we form emotional attachments to other intelligent species. My people consider it a disease. Jake started to understand. You care about me. Yes, Zara said, and her voice sounded ashamed. I care about you. I care about humans. I stood over your bed all night trying to force myself to poison you, but I could not do it. The more I watched you sleep, the more I wanted to protect you instead of harm you. What happens now? All housekeepers must send confirmation signals by sunset today. If I do not send my signal, the fleet will know something is wrong. They might start the harvest early. Jake looked at the clock on his kitchen wall. It was 7 in the morning. They had 11 hours. How do I know you're telling the truth? Jake asked. Zara walked to the kitchen counter. She picked up a heavy, cast-iron pan with one hand and crushed it like paper. Then she moved across the room so fast that Jake barely saw her move. Because, she said, if I wanted to kill you, you would already be dead. Jake believed her. We have to warn people, Jake said. Yes, Zara agreed. But it will be very dangerous. There are 50,000 Catherian housekeepers on Earth. Many live with government leaders and military commanders. If humans find out the truth too quickly, the other housekeepers will kill their humans and destroy important buildings and weapons. Jake thought about this. We need a plan. Yes, a very careful plan. And we need help from humans who know about military things. Jake nodded. He knew exactly who to call. I have a friend who's still in the army, he said. Colonel Lisa Park. She'll know what to do. Can you trust her? Jake looked at Zara. She had just told him that her entire species had been lying to humanity for 2 years. She had been sent to spy on him and poison him. But she had chosen to protect him instead. Yes, Jake said. I can trust her. The question is, can she trust you? I hope so, Zara said, because without me, humanity has no chance against the Harvest Fleet. Jake called Colonel Lisa Park from his secure phone. He used code words they had learned in the army to let her know this was an emergency. He told her to meet him at the old warehouse on 5th Street in 2 hours. He said to come alone and bring her sidearm. Lisa had been Jake's commanding officer for 3 years. She was smart, tough, and knew how to make quick decisions under pressure. If anyone would believe his crazy story, it would be Lisa. Jake and Zara spent the next hour preparing. Zara showed Jake more devices hidden in her cleaning supplies. There was a communication device that looked like a soap dispenser. There was a scanner that looked like a vacuum cleaner attachment. There was even a small weapon that looked like a scrub brush. How did we not notice these things? Jake asked. Because you were not supposed to notice, Zara said. Catherian technology is designed to look like normal human objects. Your scientists examined our cleaning tools when we first arrived. They found nothing suspicious because we made sure they found nothing suspicious. Zara also showed Jake her true physical abilities. She could lift Jake's refrigerator with one hand. She could run across the room and back before Jake could blink. She could hear sounds from 3 blocks away. Her night vision was perfect, and she could see heat patterns through walls. We are apex predators, she explained. On our world, we hunted creatures much larger and stronger than humans. Humans are actually quite fragile compared to our usual prey. This made Jake feel worried and impressed at the same time. If Catherians were this powerful, how had humanity survived this long? Why didn't you just attack us when you first arrived? Jake asked. Because there are only 60,000 of us on Earth, Zara said. There are 8 billion humans. Even if we are stronger and faster, we cannot fight that many enemies at once. That is why we need the Harvest Fleet. They drove to the warehouse in Jake's truck. Zara sat in the passenger seat looking nervous. Her skin kept changing colors. "Are you sure your friend will not just shoot me?" Zara asked. "Lisa's not stupid," Jake said. "She'll listen first, then decide what to do." Colonel Lisa Park was already waiting when they arrived. She was a tall woman with short black hair and sharp eyes. She wore civilian clothes, but Jake could see her gun under her jacket. When she saw Zara get out of the truck, her hand moved toward her weapon. "It's okay, Lisa," Jake said. "She's the one who warned me." Lisa looked at Zara carefully. "So this is your alien housekeeper. She looks normal enough." "She's not normal at all," Jake said. "Show her, Zara." Zara moved faster than a human eye could follow. 1 second she was standing by the truck. The next second she was behind Lisa with one hand gently touching Lisa's shoulder. "I could have taken your weapon and disabled you before you could react," Zara said politely. "But I chose not to." Lisa spun around, her gun now in her hand, but Zara was already back by the truck. "Holy hell," Lisa said. "How did you move that fast?" "Catherians are not the helpless refugees we pretended to be," Zara said. Jake told Lisa everything Zara had told him, about the invasion fleet, about the housekeepers being spies, about the harvest that was supposed to happen in 2 days. Lisa listened without interrupting. When Jake finished, Lisa was quiet for a long time. "Prove it," she finally said to Zara. "Prove that there's really a fleet coming." Zara pulled out her communication device. She pressed some buttons and strange sounds came out. Clicks and whistles that hurt Jake's ears to listen to. "I just contacted the fleet," Zara said. "I told them that humans are even weaker than expected. I told them that human military defenses are poorly organized. This will make them overconfident." "You're still in contact with them?" Lisa asked. "Yes. I must send regular reports or they will become suspicious. But I am giving them false information now." Lisa looked at Jake. "If this is true, we have a big problem, bigger than big." "It gets worse," Jake said. "Tell her about the other housekeepers." Zara explained that many government leaders had Catherian housekeepers. The president had one. Several generals had them. Key scientists and engineers had them. When the harvest began, these housekeepers would kill their humans and sabotage important facilities. "How many people are we talking about?" Lisa asked. "In your country, maybe 5,000 important humans have Catherian housekeepers," Zara said. "Worldwide, maybe 20,000. They are all in positions where they can cause maximum damage." Lisa sat down on an old crate. "This is insane. How are we supposed to fight an enemy that's already inside our defenses?" "There is hope," Zara said. "Catherians have weaknesses, and we have made mistakes." "What mistakes?" "We underestimated human military capability. On other worlds, the people were either too primitive to fight back or too peaceful. Humans are neither. You have advanced weapons and you are naturally aggressive." Jake felt a little pride at being called naturally aggressive. "What are your weaknesses?" Lisa asked. Zara explained that Catherians had problems with certain sound frequencies. High-pitched sounds could confuse them and disrupt their balance. They also had trouble with rapid temperature changes and strong electromagnetic fields. "But the biggest weakness is our command structure," Zara said. "Catherians follow orders without question. If you can disrupt the chain of command, individual Catherians become confused and much less effective." "How do we disrupt their command structure?" Lisa asked. "Each ship has a command center that controls all communication with other ships and with housekeepers on the ground. If you can damage enough command centers, the fleet cannot coordinate properly." Lisa stood up and started pacing. "Okay, let me think about this. We need to do several things at once. We need to identify and neutralize the housekeepers before they get warning that we know about them. We need to prepare our military for an attack that the government doesn't know is coming. And we need to find a way to hurt those ships when they arrive." "You believe me?" Zara asked. "I don't want to believe you," Lisa said. "But Jake trusts you, and I trust Jake. Plus, what you're telling me explains some strange things we've noticed." "What strange things?" Jake asked. Intelligence reports about unusual activity near military bases, communication signals we couldn't identify, equipment failures that didn't make sense. If there are alien spies living with our people, that explains a lot. Lisa looked at her watch. We have maybe 36 hours before this fleet arrives. That's not much time to save the world. There is something else, Zara said quietly. Something I have not told you yet. Jake and Lisa looked at her. Other housekeepers are starting to experience pack bonding syndrome like me. Not many, but some. They are beginning to care about their human families. Some of them might be willing to help. How many? Lisa asked. I do not know. Maybe a few hundred. Maybe more. It is hard to tell because we are supposed to hide these feelings. Jake realized what this meant. If some of the other housekeepers are starting to care about humans, maybe we can turn them against their own fleet. Maybe, Zara said, but it is very dangerous. Pack bonding syndrome makes us sick. It goes against everything we were taught. Some housekeepers might choose to kill themselves rather than betray their people. Lisa nodded grimly. We'll work with what we have. Zara, can you make contact with other housekeepers without alerting the fleet? Yes, but carefully. Good. Jake, I need you to help me contact people in the military who can be trusted. We need to do this without going through normal channels because we don't know who has alien housekeepers. Jake felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. In less than 2 days, Earth would be under attack by an enemy that had successfully destroyed 17 other worlds. Humanity's only warning came from an alien housekeeper who was going crazy from caring too much about humans. It wasn't much, but it was all they had. Colonel Lisa Park moved quickly once she decided to believe Zara's story. She knew which military officers could be trusted and which ones might have alien housekeepers. She made careful phone calls using coded language to avoid suspicion. Within 6 hours, they had assembled a small team of reliable people. General Robert Chen commanded the air defense systems on the West Coast. Major Susan Davis ran a special operations unit. Captain Mike Torres controlled a missile defense station. None of them had Catherian housekeepers, and all of them were known for being able to keep secrets. They met at an abandoned military training facility outside the city. Jake drove Zara there in his truck, both of them nervous about meeting so many military officers at once. What if they decide I'm too dangerous to keep alive? Zara asked. Then we'll all die when the harvest fleet arrives, Jake said. They need you. The meeting did not start well. When Zara walked into the room, 3 officers immediately drew their weapons. Only Lisa's sharp command stopped them from shooting. Put your guns down, Lisa ordered. She's here to help us. General Chen, a heavy man with gray hair, kept his pistol pointed at Zara. Colonel Park, have you lost your mind? This thing could kill all of us before we could blink. Yes, I could, Zara said calmly, but I will not. To prove her point, Zara moved to the center of the room and sat down on the floor with her 4 arms spread wide. It was a submissive position that showed she was not threatening anyone. I know you do not trust me, she said. You should not trust me. My people have been lying to you for 2 years, but right now, I am the only chance humanity has to survive the next 2 days. Jake stepped forward. She could have killed me any time in the past 6 months. Instead, she chose to warn me about the invasion. That has to count for something. Major Davis, a thin woman with suspicious eyes, spoke up. How do we know this isn't just a trick? Maybe the aliens want us to think we know about their plans. Zara reached into her pocket and pulled out her communication device. I can prove it to you. I will show you the real invasion plan. She activated the device and strange alien voices filled the room. Even though the team could not understand the language, they could hear the military precision in the voices. Zara translated as the voices spoke. Fleet Commander 1 reports all harvesting ships are in position. Fleet Commander 2 confirms. All ground assets are ready for termination protocol. Fleet Commander 3 requests final confirmation of human military strength assessment. The room went quiet. Ground assets means us, Zara explained. All the housekeepers. Termination protocol. Means killing our assigned humans when the harvest begins. General Chen slowly put his gun away. How many ships are coming? 12 harvesting ships. Each one is 5 kilometers long and carries enough firepower to destroy a large city. They also carry smaller attack ships and thousands of ground troops. Captain Torres whistled low. Our fighter jets can't match that kind of firepower. No, Zara agreed. In a direct fight you would lose quickly, but the fleet is not expecting a fight at all. They think humans will be helpless and confused when the attack begins. Lisa spread a map on the table. Show us where the ships will attack first. Zara pointed to 12 locations on the map. Major population centers and military command posts. New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and 9 other cities. The plan is to hit these targets simultaneously, Zara explained. Each ship will use energy weapons to disable human technology, then begin harvesting operations. The whole planet should be under control within 48 hours. Major Davis studied the map. What exactly do you mean by harvesting? Zara's skin turned darker purple. Jake could tell this was hard for her to talk about. My people strip mine entire planets, she said quietly. All resources, all minerals, all organic material, including the native population. You eat people? General Chen asked with disgust. Not eat. Process. Turn into useful materials. Nothing is wasted in a harvest operation. The room was silent for a long moment. Jake could see the officers trying to process this information. 17 worlds, Captain Torres said. You've done this to 17 worlds. Yes, my people are very good at it. But not this time, Lisa said firmly. This time we fight back. Zara nodded. Yes, but we must be very smart about it. The harvest fleet has weaknesses, but you must know how to exploit them. She spent the next hour explaining Catherian technology and tactics. The ships had powerful shields, but the shields operated on specific frequencies. They could be disrupted by coordinated electromagnetic attacks. The command structure was rigid and centralized. If the command ships were damaged, the other ships would have trouble coordinating their attacks. The biggest advantage you have is surprise, Zara said. They expect no resistance at all. If you can damage several ships in the first few minutes of battle, you might force them to retreat and regroup. General Chen was taking notes. What about the housekeepers? How do we deal with them? That is the most dangerous part, Zara admitted. Tomorrow night, all housekeepers will receive activation signals. We are supposed to eliminate our assigned humans and begin sabotage operations. Key bridges, power plants, military bases, communication centers. Major Davis looked grim. So we need to round up 50,000 aliens in one night without letting any of them know what we're doing. Some of them might help you, Zara said. I have been making contact with other housekeepers. Some are experiencing pack bonding syndrome, like me. They do not want to hurt their human families. How many? Lisa asked. Maybe 300. Maybe 500. It is hard to tell because we must be very careful when we communicate. Jake had an idea. What if we could turn the activation signal against them? Use it to identify all the housekeepers at once? Zara's eyes went wide. That might work, if you could intercept the activation frequency and trace the signals back to every receiver. We could locate every Catherian on Earth in seconds, Captain Torres finished. But you would need the right equipment, Zara warned. And you would need to act very fast. Once the signal is sent, the housekeepers will begin their missions immediately. General Chen stood up. All right, people, we have less than 24 hours to prepare for the biggest battle in human history. Major Davis, I want you to coordinate with local law enforcement in all major cities. Captain Torres, start positioning our missile defenses. Colonel Park, work with our alien friend here to set up the signal intercept. What about me? Jake asked. Lisa looked at him seriously. You're staying with Zara. She trusts you and we need her to trust us. Plus, you understand her better than anyone else. As the meeting broke up, Zara approached General Chen. There is something else you should know about my people. What? We do not understand surrender. If you damage our ships badly enough, some Catherians will choose to crash their ships into your cities rather than retreat. You must be prepared for suicide attacks. General Chen's face went hard. We'll be ready. After the others left, Jake and Zara sat alone in the empty training facility. Zara looked tired and sad. Are you okay? Jake asked. No, she said honestly. I am betraying everything I was taught to believe. My people will consider me a traitor and a diseased creature. I can never go home. Earth is your home now, Jake said. Zara looked at him with her large black eyes. Do you really think humans will accept me after this war is over? Will they trust an alien who helped plan their destruction? Jake thought about this. Some will, some won't, but the ones who matter will remember that you chose to save us when you could have killed us. I hope you are right, Zara said, because tomorrow we find out if humans are really as tough as I think they are. Outside, the sun was setting. In 18 hours, the Harvest Fleet would arrive and the most important battle in human history would begin. The next 18 hours passed in a blur of desperate preparation. Jake stayed with Zara as she helped the military team set up equipment to intercept the Catherian activation signal. She also maintained contact with the Harvest Fleet, continuing to send false reports that made humans sound weak and unprepared. Fleet Command wants final confirmation that all housekeepers are in position, Zara told Lisa during one of these communications. I am telling them that human defenses are even worse than expected. Good, Lisa said. Keep them overconfident. But Jake could see the strain this was putting on Zara. Every lie she told to her own people made her more sick. Her skin stayed dark purple, and she barely ate anything. The pack bonding syndrome was getting stronger, making her feel physically ill when she thought about the coming battle. How many humans will die tomorrow? She asked Jake when they were alone. I don't know, Jake said honestly. Probably a lot, but how many would die if we did nothing? All of them, Zara said quietly. Meanwhile, the military team worked frantically to prepare Earth's defenses. They could not use normal communication channels because too many important people had Catherian housekeepers. Instead, they used old-fashioned methods: hand-delivered messages, coded radio broadcasts, face-to-face meetings. General Chen coordinated with Air Force bases across the country. He could not tell them about the alien invasion, so he ordered surprise training exercises instead. Fighter jets were loaded with special electromagnetic weapons based on Zara's information about Catherian shield frequencies. Major Davis worked with police departments in 12 major cities. She told them to prepare for terrorist attacks the next morning. She could not explain about the alien housekeepers, so she gave them lists of addresses and told them to arrest everyone at those locations at exactly 6:30 a.m. Captain Torres positioned missile defense systems to target areas where the harvest ships would appear. The missiles were modified with electromagnetic warheads instead of explosive ones. But the most important job fell to Jake and Zara. They had to set up the signal intercept system that would locate every Catherian on Earth when the activation signal was sent. The signal will come at dawn, Zara explained as she helped Jake install sensitive radio equipment. All housekeepers will receive their final orders at the same time. How long do we have after the signal is sent? Jake asked. Maybe 10 minutes before housekeepers start killing their humans. Maybe less. Jake felt his stomach tighten. 10 minutes to coordinate the arrest of 50,000 aliens spread across the entire planet. During the night, Zara made contact with other housekeepers who were experiencing pack bonding syndrome. She used careful coded language to identify which ones might help humanity. I found 437 who are willing to protect their humans instead of killing them, she reported to Lisa. But I cannot be sure about the others. Some might be pretending to have pack bonding syndrome to trick me. We'll take what we can get, Lisa said. As the night went on, reports came in from around the world. The president had been quietly moved to a secure bunker. Key military leaders were being protected without knowing why. Nuclear weapons were being prepared, though nobody knew exactly what they would be used for. Jake tried to sleep for a few hours but couldn't. He kept thinking about how much depended on their plan working perfectly. If the signal intercept failed, they would not know where all the housekeepers were. If the electromagnetic weapons did not work on the alien ships, humanity would be defenseless. If Zara was wrong about Catherian weaknesses, billions of people would die. At 4 a.m., Zara received a message from the fleet. "They are moving into position," she told Jake. "The ships will decloak at dawn." "How do you feel?" Jake asked. Zara looked at him with tired eyes. "Terrified. I am about to watch my people try to destroy the species I have learned to care about. Either way, I will lose something important to me." Jake put his hand on her shoulder. Her skin felt warm and slightly fuzzy, like a cat. "You're doing the right thing," he said. "I hope humans remember that after the battle," Zara said. At 5:30 a.m., all the teams were in position. Military units waited near major cities. Police forces were ready to make arrests. Fighter jets sat on runways with their engines warming up. Missile batteries pointed at empty sky. Most of the world had no idea that anything unusual was about to happen. At 5:55 a.m., Zara's communication device started making urgent noises. "Final activation signal incoming," she said. "All housekeepers prepare for termination protocol." Jake's hands moved over the signal intercept equipment. "I'm ready." At exactly 6 a.m., the activation signal came. It was like nothing Jake had ever heard, a complex pattern of sounds that seemed to go directly into his brain and make his teeth ache. The intercept equipment went crazy, showing thousands of signal sources all over the world. "Got it," Jake shouted. "I've got locations on 47,832 Catherians." He transmitted the coordinates to military and police units worldwide. Within seconds, thousands of teams were moving to arrest alien housekeepers before they could complete their missions. At the same time, something else happened. 12 massive shapes appeared in the sky above major cities around the world. Harvest ships decloaked, each one 5 kilometers long and bristling with weapons. They hung in the air like giant metal mountains, blotting out the sun. "The harvest begins now," Zara said, her voice filled with sadness and fear. The ships immediately began their attack. Beams of energy shot down from each vessel, targeting military bases, power plants, and communication centers. But instead of finding helpless humans, they found coordinated resistance. Fighter jets launched from hidden airfields, their electromagnetic weapons already firing at the ship's shield generators. Missile batteries opened up with specially modified warheads designed to disrupt alien technology. The Harvest fleet had expected no resistance at all. Instead, they found themselves under attack within minutes of arriving. But the real surprise came when the ships tried to coordinate their assault. Captain Torres had prepared a massive electromagnetic pulse that targeted the specific frequencies Zara had identified as critical to Catherian command systems. The pulse hit all 12 ships at once, disrupting their ability to communicate with each other and with their ground forces. Jake watched the battle begin on multiple video screens. In New York, a Harvest ship was taking heavy damage from coordinated fighter attacks. In Los Angeles, another ship was spinning out of control after a direct hit to its command center. "It's working," he said to Zara. "Your plan is working." But Zara was watching her own people's ships being destroyed, and she looked heartbroken. "I know this was necessary," she said, "but those are still my people up there." Jake understood. Zara had chosen to save humanity, but that choice came with a terrible cost. She would have to live with the knowledge that she had helped kill thousands of her own species. The battle was far from over, but for the first time since this all began, Jake thought humanity might actually win. The battle for Earth lasted 18 hours. Jake watched it unfold from the command center they had set up in the abandoned training facility. Video screens showed him the fight happening in 12 cities around the world. The first few minutes went better than anyone had hoped. The Harvest ships were caught completely off guard. They had expected to find helpless humans cowering in fear. Instead, they found coordinated military resistance. In New York, 6 fighter jets hit the Harvest ship with electromagnetic pulses that disrupted its shield generators. The massive vessel, which had been hovering motionless above Manhattan, suddenly began listing to one side. But then it fired back with energy weapons that vaporized 2 of the jets in seconds. In Los Angeles, The harvest ship tried to land troops, but Major Davis had positioned Special Forces units exactly where Zara said they would appear. The alien. Ground troops found themselves under attack the moment they left their ship. The electromagnetic weapons are working, Zara said as she watched the battle reports. But my people are adapting quickly. They are switching to backup systems. She was right. Within an hour, the harvest ships had adjusted their tactics. They stopped trying to hover in place and began moving constantly to avoid missile attacks. They also started using different shield frequencies that were harder to disrupt. The worst moment came when the harvest ship over Washington, D.C. realized it was going to be destroyed. Instead of retreating, it dove straight down toward the city. Suicide. Attack, Zara said grimly. I warned you this would happen. The massive ship crashed into the Potomac River just outside the city. The explosion shattered windows for 20 miles in every direction, but the main population centers were spared. One ship down, General Chen reported over the radio. But we lost it in the worst possible way. By noon, 2 more harvest ships had been destroyed and 1 had been captured after its crew abandoned it. But the remaining 8 ships had learned from their losses. They stayed high in the atmosphere where Earth's weapons had trouble reaching them, and they began systematic bombardment of major population centers. The casualty reports were devastating. Millions of people were fleeing the cities. Power grids were failing. Communication networks were down in half the country. But something else was happening that gave Jake hope. Around the world, the arrests of Cytherian housekeepers were succeeding beyond their best expectations. Of the 47,000 housekeepers on Earth, over 40,000 had been captured before they could complete their missions. Even better, nearly 1,000 housekeepers had turned on their own people. They protected their human families and helped capture other housekeepers. Pack bonding syndrome is spreading, Zara explained. Seeing humans fight so bravely is making more of my people question their loyalty to the fleet. In cities around the world, Cytherians were making the same choice Zara had made. They were choosing to protect humans instead of killing them. By evening, the tide of battle began to turn. The harvest ships were running low on energy after hours of constant fighting. Their crews were exhausted and demoralized by the unexpectedly fierce resistance. More importantly, they had lost contact with most of their ground forces. The housekeepers who were supposed to sabotage human defenses had mostly been captured or had switched sides. The final turning point came when Captain Torres managed to capture a Cytherian communication device from one of the arrested housekeepers. Using information Zara provided, he broke into the fleet's command network. I'm sending false orders to the remaining ships, he reported. I'm telling them that Earth's defenses are stronger than expected, and they should retreat to regroup. 3 of the remaining ships actually believed the false orders and withdrew beyond Earth's atmosphere. The other 5 realized they were being tricked and pressed their attack even harder. But by then, human forces had learned how to fight the harvest ships effectively. Coordinated attacks by multiple fighter squadrons could overwhelm a ship's defenses long enough for missiles to get through. The ship over Chicago was destroyed when 30 fighter jets attacked it at once from different directions. The ship over Miami was crippled when submarines launched missiles from underwater, hitting it from below where its shields were weakest. As night fell, only 2 harvest ships remained in Earth's atmosphere. Both were badly damaged and running, out of ammunition. At 11:47 p.m., the last 2 ships suddenly accelerated upward and disappeared into space. The battle for Earth was over. Jake slumped in his chair, exhausted beyond belief. Around him, the command center erupted in cheers as reports came in from around the world. Humanity had won, but the victory came at a terrible cost. Final casualty. Reports showed that over 2 million people had died in the battle. Entire city blocks lay in ruins. It would take years to rebuild everything that had been destroyed. Zara sat quietly in the corner, watching the celebration with sad eyes. "Are you okay?" Jake asked her. "I do not know," she said honestly. "I helped save humanity, but I also helped kill thousands of my own people. I am not sure how I am supposed to feel about that." Jake sat down next to her. "You saved 8 billion lives. That has to count for something. Will other humans see it that way? Or will they only remember that I am the same species as the ones who attacked them? Jake looked around the command center. General Chen was coordinating with international leaders. Major Davis was organizing rescue operations in the damaged cities. Captain Torres was tracking the retreating harvest ships to make sure they were really leaving. None of them seemed angry at Zara. If anything, they treated her with respect and gratitude. Some humans will always be suspicious of you, Jake said, but the ones who matter will remember what you did. You chose to save us when you could have destroyed us. Over the following days, the extent of what Zara and the other pack-bonded housekeepers had accomplished became clear. Not only had they warned humanity about the invasion, but they had also provided detailed intelligence about Catherian technology and tactics. Without their help, Earth would have been completely defenseless. The captured harvest ships contained advanced technology that would benefit humanity for generations. Medical devices, energy systems, and space travel technology that was centuries ahead of anything humans had developed. Most importantly, nearly 1,500 Catherians had chosen to stay on Earth and help with the rebuilding efforts. They had permanently severed ties with their own people to become part of human civilization. Jake found Zara in his apartment a week after the battle. She was cleaning, just like she had for months before the invasion. But everything was different now. "So what happens next?" Jake asked. Zara looked up from vacuuming his living room. Her skin had changed color permanently. Instead of purple, she was now a warm golden color that Jake found beautiful. "I suppose I continue being your housekeeper," she said, "unless you do not want an alien living in your home anymore." Jake laughed. "Zara, you saved the entire human race. I think you've earned the right to do whatever you want with your life." "What I want," Zara said slowly, "is to help humans and Catherians learn to live together peacefully. There will be more harvest fleets eventually. My people will not give up after one defeat. But maybe next time we can find a way to solve the problem without a war." Jake nodded. "That sounds like a good plan. But maybe we can start with something smaller." "Like what?" "Like teaching humans and Catherians to trust each other, starting with us." Zara smiled, an expression she had learned from watching humans. "I would like that very much." Outside, the city was rebuilding. Humans and Catherians worked side by side to repair the damage from the Harvest War. It would not be easy, and there would probably be more conflicts in the future. But for the first time since the invasion began, Jake felt hopeful about the future. Humanity had proven that they could defend themselves against impossible odds, and they had also proven that they could inspire loyalty and friendship, even in natural predators. The galaxy was about to learn something important about humans. They were not just tough fighters, they were also capable of turning enemies into allies through the simple power of treating others with kindness and respect. And that, Jake realized, might be humanity's greatest weapon of all.